Hello students, my name is Vishal and today we are going to start with a new chapter which is related to pneumatic circuits. This is last chapter of our subject industrial hydraulics and pneumatics. So let's get started. SA means single acting cylinder pneumatic circuit. This is actually a circuit which is related to single acting cylinder and this is pneumatic in nature. So we are having a single acting cylinder as the name specifies. Single acting cylinder means it is having a spring in between which symbolizes it is a single acting in nature. Then we are having a 3x2 DCV. We have already discussed about 3x2 DCV means we are having a 3 ports and 2 sections, means 3 ports 1, 2, 3 and 2 sections means section number 1 and section number 2. Means if I will discuss this in like this, 3x2, number of ports 3, 1, 2, 3 and number of sections 2, 1 and 2. This all are actually related to the DCV. We have already discussed. This is a push button type and spring operated. We are having a silencer over here, or we can also say this is a muffler or aero exhaust. Okay, these are all the components which are related to pneumatic circuits. Then we are having a FRL unit, which is filter, regulator and lubricator. We have also discussed the function of all the 3 components combined in a FRL unit. Okay, then we are having a air receiver and a compressor, which is very important. Compressor is the main heart of this complete system, pneumatic system. So we have to deal with the complete pneumatic system. If we have to deal with the complete pneumatic system, we need to have a compressor. Okay, compressor is actually a component which deals with which actually generates a pressure or gives a pressure to the atmospheric air. Okay, atmospheric air. So the fluid is allowed to enter into the compressor from the atmosphere. The compressor compresses the atmospheric air and generates a pressure and then this flow of air, once the pressure has been built up, moves into the air receiver or the air tank, and after the pressure has been built up and it is moved into the air receiver, air tank, the pressure gets further connected to the FRL unit. Okay, as per the requirement, we will start the movement of the fluid or allow the fluid to make the discharge from the air tank, air receiver, or allow the fluid to get into the air circuit. Okay, as per the requirement. And first, when it gets inducted into a circuit, it has to start with a compressor, and after the compressor there is an air tank. Air tank allows the fluid to get stored. Okay, it is having a pressure energy, so it is going to store for a particular period of time, and as per the requirement, we are going to allow the fluid to get discharged from the air tank and inducted into the pneumatic circuit. So once the fluid get inducted into the pneumatic circuit, it gets started with the FRL unit. It first get contact with the FRL unit, moving further to the DCV. DCV is actually a circuit direction control valve which actually gives the direction to the fluid supply or the air. So over here, the port of the fluid is closed. Okay, the port of the fluid is closed, so the fluid is restricted to move further to the cylinder. So I will just press a button over here. So once the button has been pressed, the section 2 will be moved to section 1. Okay, section 2 will be moved to section 1, and hence the flow of the fluid will be like this. It will allow the fluid to move further from P to A like this, and it will just get inducted inside the cylinder. So it is actually getting filled inside the cylinder. Once the complete filling of the cylinder has been done, now it is very important to change the direction of the flow control valve, So we are going to release this button. Once the button has been released, the direction of the flow gets changed. Okay, direction of the control, direction of the valve gets changed, allowing the fluid to return back from A, then crossing over in the DCV to P, and then to the silencer or the muffler, which is an air exhaust. Okay, so now the air has been made to get exhaust into the atmosphere, and hence the pneumatic circuit has been completely in motion. Okay, so we will move to our next circuit, which is double acting cylinder pneumatic circuit. Double acting cylinder, as the name specifies, a double acting having a double acting cylinder, and it is pneumatic in nature. So this is a pneumatic double acting cylinder. This is a 4x2 DCV, 4x2 DCV, 4 ports, 2 sections in the DCV. This is a button operated spring type DCV. This is an FRL unit, and further it is having a compressor and air storage tank. Okay, this is having air storage tank, this is having compressor. So the air has been allowed to get entered into the compressor. Once the air has been inducted into a compressor, it actually pressurizes the air or compresses the air to a particular limit, and then it is allowed to store inside the tank. As per the requirement, we are going to use that stored air or compressed air to make it inducted into a pneumatic circuit. So once it gets inducted into a pneumatic circuit, it first gets contact with the FRL unit, which actually is a filter, regulator and lubricator of the circuit. So FRL unit gets first initially in contact with the flow, then it is allowed to get passed from P to 1 and then 3. So from the port 3, it makes an inlet into the double acting cylinder, allowing the fluid to get filled inside the cylinder from port number 3, and because of which the piston gets moved from left to right. And once the piston gets moved from left to right, the area or the region or the volume gets increased, and once the complete filling of the cylinder gets completed, it is now very important to change the direction of the DCV. So I am releasing this knob or the button. So once the button has been pressed or released, the direction control valve changes its direction from section 1 to section 2. So section 2 gets activated, and section 2 will look like this. Okay, it is having like this. So now the fluid which is passing from FRL unit to the P now moves to 2, from P to 2, and then 2 to 4. Okay, 4, and now the piston gets moved from right to left, allowing the already filled pneumatic air to get discharged from port number 3, and then from port number 3 it will get in contact with port number 1 of DCV and to R, getting crossed over to R, and then to the silencer and exhausted to the atmosphere. So this is a complete pneumatic circuit of the double acting cylinder. So we are going to learn some more circuits in our further slides. We will stop over here and meet in our next lecture. Thank you.